Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to learn how to create an Azure policy. Now in this series of videos, we're working on several labs that are developed specifically to help you pass Azure 900, which is the Azure Fundamentals certification. And all of the labs, they're available from Microsoft Learning. I'm going to give you this link in the video. And I'm also going to give you this link to this page where we have already completed 16 labs. If you need, you can access those videos. Uh, in this video, we're going to work on this lab 17, which is create an Azure policy. Now, in the previous lab, we have used Azure Policy to make sure people are using tags at the time of deployment. And this particular video, we're just going to create a new Azure Policy. So let's go get started. To do this lab with me, you will need an active Azure subscription. If you don't have one, please go to portal.azure.com and get a free subscription. Once you have it, you're good to go. So what we'll do, in this lab, we will create an Azure policy to restrict deployment of Azure resources to a specific location. Okay. Uh, so we'll go to the Azure portal. We go to the policy just as the previous one, and we're going to find a policy that names allowed virtual machine SKUs definition, and that will enable me to specify a set of virtual machine SKUs or SKUs that your organization can deploy. So come over here again, go to the Azure portal, and the search bar is my favorite thing of Azure. Here I'm gonna search for policy. Here's it showed up, so I'm gonna click on that one. We are looking to assign a new policy, so I'm just gonna click on assignments. I think that's where you want to go. Actually, definition is where we need to go because we're going to create a new policy. So let's go over here, definition. So the assignments are, you have already have policies that are predefined, and you just want to enable or disable them. If you want to create something new, you got to go to the definition. That's probably what they're trying to say, and you just go and click on the policy definition. And here, definition location, let's just click on that one, and it's going to be applied on the Azure subscription. Just select that one, and let's see if they're asking us to configure something. Policy assignment policy, I think they're still in the assignments. They have not come down to definition. So I'm going to go back to the assignments, go to assign policy, and policy definition. I'm going to choose, yeah, I think they're still within the policy. So we are going to look for what allowed virtual machine SKUs. So let's just copy this one, and I'm just going to try to search for the whole thing. Then nothing showed up. All right, so here allowed virtual machine SKUs is there, so let's just select that one. So yeah, the policy definition and the assignment name has showed up. I don't need to do any exclusions, and the policy I want to enable. Let's see if there's anything else that we need to do. Scope, we have done all of that. And select the policy search box. Allowed locations is the next thing that they're asking us to do. So come back over here. So what is gonna happen is parameters, and here this is really for the SKUs and what SKUs that you want to allow. Okay, so let's see what is it they're asking us to do. All right, so here uh, they're just asking you in here just to review, if you want to specify a set of virtual machine that you can organize the deploy. So over here from this view, now I can say, okay, you can only do all the basics. Okay, maybe A3, A4, standard, D3, whatever you feel like D2, D2S3, D2V2, D2V3, D2SV3. Okay, those are some of the common ones that we use a lot in the lab. And I can say review and create, and that will restrict the deployment of virtual machines. That you have to use those SKUs. Any other SKUs will be denied. Return to the policy page under authoring assignments. An assignment is a policy that has been assigned to take place within a specific scope. Okay, and then assign policy, then they're asking you to look for uh, scope we know, allowed location. Okay, allowed location is the next policy they're asking us to look. So if you want to enable this policy, you just say review and create and create. So now you have a policy that allowed virtual location. If you want to create another for the allowed locations, we'll do the same thing, assignments, assign policy, and then this button, and over here I'll just look for locations, and allowed location showed up. You select that one, so you got that. Go to parameters, click over here and allowed. Maybe you are in the US, so I'm just going to search for US, and here's East US, East US 2, East US 2 stage, uh, north, central, south. Maybe those are the East US region, and I don't like the stage, so just regular one. And just say review and create. So those are the regions where you will be able to now deploy your resources. You will not be able to deploy in Japan or Asia or anything else other than that what we have just added in here. So let's see here, the param we have already done that. Then you're saying, okay, you have something. Let's just go ahead and deploy something and see if you can do that. Okay. So let's come back over here. So now we have two different policies. So we can go home, and we can go to one of the resource group that we have already created, and say we are trying to add a new uh, what say new virtual machine. So let's see if it shows up in the lab. They're asking you to deploy a storage account in a location that is not in the approved list, and they have allowed only the East Japan or something. So anything other than East Japan, it should be denied. And for us, uh, say here, if I try to create, say, say a Windows server, okay. Let's see. First of all, since we have two different, so test win. And the first thing, if it's not in the US, if it's say in Europe, doesn't matter what is the SKU here. Okay, I'm just going to provide some username and password. Okay, and then I'll just say review and create. And since that region is disallowed by my policy, uh, although it says validation is successful, if I try to create, I'm expecting that it's going to fail, because the region, there we go. So it failed. Because why it failed? Because you just click on it, resource is disallowed by policy. Okay, then you just have to look at the policy definition, and we know that region that where we're trying to deploy is not allowed in terms of my policy. So that's a great feature. So let's go back over here again and maybe try to now deploy another virtual machine. So this time we have tested for the location, and now let's have the right location. So we'll choose maybe the East US where it's now allowed, but we'll try to choose a different SKU which is not allowed. Okay, so again I'm gonna say test machine. So East US is allowed, so I can keep that one now. And over here, let's see, let's say select all sizes, and let's see. I know that we haven't enabled any of the E series, right? So maybe just click that one, and Now it's loading up. Okay, uh, that's everything else is fine with me. Let's review and create, and it's doing the validation. It's saying the validation is successful. Now let's try to create it. What do you think is going to happen? All these things, it doesn't really matter. We're just gonna look for, okay, this is now initializing the deployment, and now it's in that phase. This is most interesting, that it has actually started deploying the virtual machine. It didn't really stop. So let's see what happens when it goes to the virtual machine. So what is happening right now, this one is interesting. It's creating the resources, the dependent resources first. Okay, while this is going on, we want to also want to make sure that the policy is actually enabled. Like, we just didn't import the policy and never made it in force. So it's, while this is going on, I'm going to go to policy, okay, and assignments, and we should have two different policies in here. And allowed locations, we have already looked at. This is working fine. So let's go back to the policy and allowed virtual machine, and what I'm looking for is enabled. Yeah, this is enabled, which is good. So we can come back over here, and if this deployment is successful, then yeah, it's failed. So this is interesting. I would like to see that this deployment is failed at the very beginning and not even deploy the related resources, because what I'm going to do with the related resources if I cannot deploy the virtual machine? So the policy is getting applied properly, but it's unnecessarily, to my opinion, it has unnecessarily created these resources. There must be some thinking behind why it is getting applied this way, but I would like to see, not even uh, if this will not be able to deploy, if that's the end goal, you should not be even able to deploy any of the related resources. So now you have a state where you can go to your resource, okay, and in here you are going to have a whole bunch of associated resources, but you still don't have the virtual machine that you really wanted. Anyway, but you get an overall view of how the policies are allowed and how and what's not allowed. So we have tested for the location, we have tested for the SKUs, and the last thing, you would like to delete these policies, the assignments that you have done, because you'll probably be doing more labs. If you have these policies, some of the labs you're gonna do will probably see some, you will see some challenges because of your deployment failures. So we'll go back to our Azure environment. We'll go back to policy again, and from here we're just gonna delete those two assignments that we have. I don't need that. Just delete assignment, say yes, and the allow virtual machine, the next one is also, I'm going to click on delete and hit yes. So both of them are now getting deleted. So next time if I try to deploy, no matter where it is, which location, I should be able to deploy that properly. All right. If you like the video, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel for more videos, and if you're studying for the exam, good luck. And again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.